Hey everyone, Rodney here, and I'm with David from GAME-O-GAMI.
Yes.
And you're teaching me a game.
Yes, so I'm teaching Rodney Immortal.
Right.
So Immortal is this
Look at
game.
that cover.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah. Get your own. It's not out yet, but it's going to be out soon on Kickstarter.
So these are prototype materials, obviously,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so it's a prototype of the game, but eventually you're going to be able to get your own copy, which is going to have super thick boards, really high quality components, and the awesome artwork that we're displaying on all these cards.
Much of which is complete here, right? Or it's coming together?
Yeah, the game is really close to being complete, which is why we're going to be putting it on Kickstarter soon, just get the funds we need to actually get it out there into gamers' hands. So Immortal is a game of mythic strategy. So both Rodney and I are playing different mythological factions, trying to fight over control of these different mythological domains.
On a tableau that we created, right, with these different pieces. We each place a piece, we can set it together how we want, and then we start fighting over this area, right, by laying our cards down, right?
Exactly. So as you can see, the board is actually segmented here. So we each put down our different shaped boards. So you got a lot of different configurations that can go together almost like Tetris pieces to create your own modular battlefield.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Parts will not fold in the end.
No.
Prototype.
Right.
So yeah, so we join these two realms. So we're fighting over Olympus and Asgard here. Rodney's playing as the ancient Greeks. So he's got Medusa, he's got the centaurs, he's got the Minotaur on his side. Later he's going to bring in heavy hitters like Zeus, Athena, Ares. I'm playing with the Norse gods. So I start off with characters like Valkyries, Trolls, Sleipnir, which is Odin's horse, and then later I'm actually going to be able to bring in Odin himself, along with other heavy hitters like Thor and Loki, and really crush Rodney's hopes and dreams on the battlefield here.
Most likely. But the reason why I wanted to bring you at this point in the game is because I'm about to do some damage to you.
True.
Or so I think. Well, see, so the idea is you have all these different characters drawing a few into your hand at a time, right?
Yes.
And you have to decide when and how you want to place them, and where you put them on the board is going to potentially give them powers. They have their own unique abilities that will sometimes activate and trigger, right? So I'll go to the table right now. I'll show you here a little card play myself. So we've already been placing the characters on the board, as you can see here, and they have values on each side. And as you place your characters down, you're trying to have greater values adjacent to your enemies. So in this case, my enemy are the characters that have the orange tokens on them, and the characters that I control have the purple tokens. So I have an empty space here. I'm going to place one of the characters from my hand right here. You'll notice I have a 7 on this side, which is greater than the 2. I have a 3 over here, which is not greater than the 5, but I have a 4 here, which is greater than the 3. So in these cases, I'm going to be able to capture both of these. So I'm going to remove these tokens from these characters and then place my tokens both on these new ones as well as the one I just placed. Now, also, the characters sometimes have their own abilities that will trigger as well. Like this is a trader ability, whereas this one down here has a scarring effect. So you may put a card down here to fight this character and defeat it, but it will scar you. And you will get a -1 token. You'll notice we have a +1 token here for one of the effects it's getting from the locations it's on. But a -1 effect would go on a character placed here that defeats it, but then suffers some damage from that hard-fought battle. So speaking of which, as you can see, there are some different actual features on the board itself that are permanent to the board, and when characters are placed there or around them, that can also influence the gameplay and the results. And the winner is the player who controls the most characters on the board at the end of the game. So David's looking and planning to plan ahead here as to what he's going to play next. The game is broken into 2 rounds. It's a first round and a second round, right? And during the first round, you're going to have your round 1 characters, and then the more powerful ones are going to come out later, right? And also, the board is going to expand. So we play the first round until we fill this board, and then we're going to add in some more attachments. So some of these guys who are kind of safe because they're on the edges now suddenly will become exposed again, right, to be captured.
Right, and that's a big part of the strategy, is even if you're falling behind at the end of a first round, you can really turn the tables by putting the board where your enemy is strongest in order to open up his forces that were protected before.
Right.
Now they're completely wide open for attack.
Sure, exactly. So have you got a response?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to attack you with Freyr.
Okay.
So as you can see, Freyr, he has a defensive ability, +2 defense versus sky cards. It doesn't take come into play right now because he's the attacker, not the defender, but later on, it will help me keep this card.
Right.
So I place down the control token on my card. Now I evaluate the neighboring cards. So I control this one, so nothing happens.
Right.
There's an enemy card here, and here. So the 2 matches the 2 here, so I don't get to capture the Minotaur.
Good.
But the 5 is higher, so I actually do get something out of this. So the 5 beats his 3, so I'm able to take the Harpies here.
So that's just a quick sample of the gameplay. Now, it's not over yet. I still got another round to go here,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, we're halfway through.
Right. So, and I would say, like, you taught me that pretty quickly. I think the symbols are all pretty straightforward, which is kind of neat. There's lots of different little effects there. And there's 2 other factions you can play with. We picked 2 of the 4 factions.
Yes.
Right? And they all seem to play differently. They have their own unique abilities. Every card within your own faction is unique.
Yes.
Right?
So Master Set 1 comes with 4 different factions. So we're playing with the Greeks and the Norse. There's also the Japanese and Native American factions, which are pulling from the myths and legends of those cultures.
Right.
So every character is unique, right? So you're never going to have 5 Medusas in your deck.
Yeah.
Every character has its own personality, its own special abilities, and is facing off against, again, the unique characters from all
unique
the other
artwork
factions.
on all of them, right?
Yes, yes. So there's actually 72 different characters in the game, each with their own unique artwork, abilities and stats, and their own stories. So the game also comes with cards which show off the artwork and teach you actually a little lesson about mythology on the back of each one. So if you say you don't know much about Native American legends, this is your chance to learn.
Okay, interesting. So at what point do you see yourself going to Kickstarter with this game?
So the planned launch right now is the end of April. So trying to launch the last week of April. Keeping my fingers crossed that that's actually going to happen then, but very soon. So between 4 to 6 weeks from now, we're at the GAMA trade show, middle of March. So end of April, beginning of May, you're going to see this on Kickstarter.
There's something people might not realize is that we've actually featured one of your games already on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, which one was that?
Goblins Drool, Fairies Rule. See, he let me say it because I'm about the only person who can say it without getting tongue tied. And even then, I've got maybe a 62%.
I can't remember. Is it the Fairies Rule first, and then the Goblins Drool, or the Goblins Drool and the Fairies Rule? So I knew it was safe to just give it to you.
It's really anything you want. The customer's always right. And any way you want to say it.
The game did wrap up here. We played through the second round, and
if you're doing it right.
David runs a smart demo. Always let the new person win. So I won. Pretty close.
Cardinal rule.
Pretty close, pretty good. And we got more board out here, right? We played out more pieces, so we had more areas to fill up.
Yes.
We got to see the more powerful cards as we played them out.
So the game basically, after the first round, pretty much doubles in size, right?
Yeah.
So the board is getting twice as big, and you're playing just as many cards as the first round.
Right, but now the areas are more exposed again. So those characters that were safe because they're up against the edges are now exposed.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks again for taking me through all of this and getting a chance to see the whole game. I look forward to seeing when it comes up on Kickstarter. Hopefully you guys will be interested in checking it out as well.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to play it and to talk with me about it. It was a lot of fun to finally get to play this. We've been actually talking about this for actually years, so it's, to finally actually get this done is really been
it was a pleasure for me too. You bet. All right, take care. We'll see you later.
Thank you.